The plant pictured here is a species of agave, also known as agave. Agaves grow in a basal rosette and can get much larger than many of the other rosette-forming plants we'll talk about, getting up to 10 to 12 feet wide and 6 to 8 feet tall in the landscape. But there are many smaller species, cultivars, and hybrids that are commonly grown as houseplants. The form is pretty consistent, but there will be a fair amount of variety in the leaf shape and color. However, most agaves will have teeth on the margins and a terminal spine on the tips of the leaves. The leaves of Agave perii, pictured here, will be wide and bluish green and are faceted, which means the leaf surfaces have multiple planes, kind of like a faceted gemstone. Some species, like Agave victoriae reginae, will have very pronounced facets on the leaves. Even though there are no teeth on the margins of this species, they will still have that characteristic terminal spine on the tips of the leaves. This species is a great one to grow in containers or as a houseplant, since it remains pretty small, usually only about a foot tall and wide. Some agaves are variegated, like Agave americana variety Mediopicta alba. Agave attenuata is a popular species that has very smooth leaves with a waxy, bluish, glaucous coating and entire margins. This species has a long, attenuate leaf apex that tapers to that characteristic spine. Agaves are monocarpic, so the individual rosette will put out a flower stalk, then die after flowering. Agaves rarely flower as houseplants, and in the wild they may take up to 30 years or more to flower, hence one of the common names, century plant. The inflorescence is a tall panicle that rises high above the rosette. Like aeoniums and the other monocarpic plants we'll cover, even when one rosette dies, there will usually be many offsets around it, so you probably won't lose the whole plant. Agaves are native to very dry, arid areas of the Americas, so they prefer to be grown in a very well-drained, sandy or gravelly soil. Water agaves during the spring and summer when the top 2 centimeters of the soil is dry, and then during their dormant period in fall and winter, water just enough to keep the leaves from shriveling. And this concludes our discussion of agave, also known as agave.